So now that Project Cream Puff is pretty well sorted, I've decided to bring the drift car home. Just has some piles of junk around it from the holidays. But look, I got carpet. Anyway, now this is pretty much stored out, I've decided to bring the drift car home from storage to get to work on some more projects. This has been my interior setup for a while. You know, cluster the typical 52mm gauges here and here, and then over here I've just got this big blank opening because this car doesn't have air conditioning, obviously, so this has just been a nice big open slot for a long time. Down here where the radio and stuff goes, I put this carbon plate with my main cutoff switch, and that's pretty neat, but still that's been open. I've been doing a lot of stuff with my 3D printer lately, which includes not just printing files that I find online, but also designing some of my own. This is my 3D printing station in the garage. It's kind of a mess. So on my website, I've got some stuff like I've got door panel repair clips, or I have some body plugs. And this one is a little bit bigger. It took quite a bit more planning, but I'm really excited about it. This is my prototype HVAC block-off plate. I've added a little bit of stiffy things to the back of this to make sure it doesn't flex, because that is kind of one of the concerns, is I didn't want it to rattle in there. But I've got it modeled so it just perfectly fits in here, if I can do it. Come on, bloop. There we go. So now we're, bloop. Now I'll put a couple of screws in it. And there we go. We've got the plates all bolted in, so I guess we'll put this bit back on here. Ugh. Check that out. Perfectly blocked off. Looks nice, and no longer a giant gaping hole there. So I'm actually pretty proud of myself with that. I think what I need to do now is do a couple of modifications to it so that way people can use it for switch panels or for even maybe some gauge clusters, mount some 52mm gauges in there. That way you don't have to cut up the vents like I did. I don't know, could be a pretty useful panel for those that don't have AC or have a pretty gross looking HVAC control panel, because that's how most of them look. If yours isn't working, well then here's a block off plate for pretty cheap. Go ahead and check the video description for links to my website where you can purchase this. And then if you have some other comments, like if you want a certain orientation, like you want switches, you know, on it, maybe some pre-drilled holes for it or pre-printed holes, so that way you don't have to drill anything, everything's perfectly aligned, or gauges or whatever, go ahead and put that in the comments, and then we'll see what I come up with. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.